Welcome to Getting Started with the Aluminum Import Monitoring and Analysis System, known as AIM. This video will focus on an overview of the AIM monitor. The AIM monitor covers U.S. imports of aluminum, including data collected from the licensing system. In this video, we will cover a walkthrough of the monitor interface, where to find data, how to filter and view data, how to view details for data, and how to download and organize the data. This system is optimized for the latest version of Google Chrome and may not be compatible with other browsers. The AIM system is a new system designed for U.S. imports of aluminum, both on the licensing application side and the external-facing public aluminum import monitor, which displays both the census and licensing data. In this video, we will showcase the look of the new monitor, its different tabs, and share the functionality that we feel will enhance the use and usability of the data. Our intent was to provide a monitor where users can view different aspects of the trade data in alternate visualizations, along with the data at the level of granularity that is preferred, and to do so with relative ease. The first tab is labeled Monthly Data Page 1. This is where the monthly aluminum import data from census and the license data will be located. This tab showcases at the top the graph that shows the most recent data along with the data table. The second tab is labeled Monthly Data Page 2 and expands the first tab to house other visualizations, including data by country, by product category, and a time series comparison. The third tab is labeled Monthly Data Map and expands the first tab to show the data geographically. The fourth tab is labeled Annual Census Data Page 1. This tab mirrors the first tab. However, the data displays only annual official census import figures. For the current year, the latest year-to-date data will be available for display if there are less than 12 months of data. The fifth and sixth tabs are labeled Annual Data Page 2 and Annual Data Map. These tabs expand the fourth tab to house other visualizations, including by country, by product category, a time series comparison, and geographically. The data are only annual official census import figures. For the current year, the latest year-to-date data will be available for display if there are less than 12 months of data. Functionality is the same across tabs, although the content differs. All visualizations are grouped with their associated data tables so that the underlying data and at different granularity can be viewed simultaneously. So for example, the first two tabs, which both refer to monthly census and license data, have an associated data table in the first tab. The final tab is one devoted to aluminum waste and scrap. This is not one of the covered products that requires an aluminum license. Therefore, data for it is not included in the monthly and annual data tabs, that is in either the census or the licensing figures. However, there was interest in showing this data on waste and scrap, and so this tab was included and functions like the other tabs. Another tab that will be added will be labeled Monthly License HTS Data. This is where the user will have access to the license data displayed at a certain harmonized tariff schedule or HTS level. It will be added after the department has had sufficient time to assess the license data its accuracy, and level of appropriate product detail to release in the monitor. This assessment will take several months. This tab will have a visual graphing the current and previous license data by product category and the accompanying data table. It will be modeled similar to the Steel Import Monitor tab for licensing. To view the SEMA monitor and its licensing tab, please navigate to the website provided in the next slide and click on Monthly License Data tab. Each tab has a default setting at the top of the page for the filters in terms of country, product and product categories, date, and measures, whether for value, volume, or unit value, which are filterable. This allows users to customize their view by using filters to disaggregate the underlying data. At the default level, we will see the latest census and license data in total for all countries, all product categories for the past year. We're able to see this, but also see the data disaggregated by major category. So for example, we're able to see the amount of trade attributed to unwrought aluminum, plates and sheets and strip, aluminum wire, and so forth, and differentiate the census from the license data by color. As mentioned before, the licensing data will be available in a few months. We have incorporated tooltips as well. So, hovering over any particular section of the visual displays information relating to that portion of the graph. Changing the defaults changes the views on the subsequent graphs and table as well. So for example, if we select and filter to unwrought aluminum, we can see that the top graphic changes to illustrate the volume of imports of unwrought products. We can also further drill down to select the subcomponents of unwrought, to make further selections. We can also click on focus mode on the graph here, the second icon, to spotlight the particular graph we are interested in. To click back to report. To return to the default settings, you may either change the filters individually or click on Reset Filters. These settings change the subsequent views to account for this filter selection. So for example, in the table, we can see that unwrought products are displayed in the default table view, which is by country, and can be further drilled down to show the underlying data and its breakout into different product groups. You're able to drill down one country at a time by just clicking on the plus sign next to the country, and then clicking again on the product group to see the underlying data. Click back to go to the top again. Or click on the fourth icon on the top right, which looks like a fork, to expand all one level down the hierarchy, and again to see the subcomponents. To drill up, just click on the up arrow. You can click on the double arrow to see just the next level in the hierarchy, which is by product category. We can reset the filters here. You can also analyze the data through the product category view in the table. Clicking on the fork here twice expands the data to display the product category, the product group, and the country level data. Hitting the fork one one time, and the second time shows it by country. Again, to go back up, use the up arrow. Data can be exported by selecting the graphic, clicking on the three dots in the right-hand corner, and selecting Export Data. Selecting the summarized data provides details related to the data, while selecting underlying data provides the actual data. The exported data is at a very granular level. For information on how to organize data into pivot tables, follow the instructions below. Please note that the graphics and functionality are the same for the waste and scrap data as they are in this tab, the only data difference being the actual data. Select the three dots at the upper right of the table and select Export Data. The downloaded data file will be on the lower left of the screen. Open that file. Delete the first two rows of the Excel file and click OK. With the cursor in the data table, go to Insert and select Pivot Table. When the pop-up appears, click OK. Drag and drop the concepts you wanted in the table by column, row, and values. You can also right-click on the variable in the top of the field view and select where to place it. Moving to the second tab, we can see the data disaggregated by country and by product category, which we can further disaggregate by clicking on the product category of interest. The final visual in the second tab is meant to compare and contrast two country time series for different aluminum product categories or product groups. Here, you're able to select one or more product categories in our product groups and select two countries to view their trends. These filters apply to these two graphs themselves. So here, selecting product category, you're also able to go down to the product group if you like. And select your countries of interest. As mentioned before, the annual tabs have the same visuals and interactivity as the monthly tabs. However, they just display census data and only on an annual basis at the default setting, since the number of months is set to 1 to 12. This can easily be used to see year-to-date data, however. So for any year or number of years, select the month you wish to see data for. For example, you can select 1, 2, and 3 to see the quarterly data for January, February, March. And the quarterly data will be shown for all the years selected. Thank you for watching. This was a major undertaking to create the AIM website. We hope that the design and functionality of the AIM Public Monitor is useful. If you have further questions, please forward them to aluminum.license@trade.gov.